Yo, GM, what's going on, chat? How you guys doing? Let me see some responses in the chat here. I'm even gonna jump in here real quick while we get this thing started. But I hope you guys are having a good morning. And let's see, let me get this done real quick. All right, that's my secret way for me to check to make sure the volume and everything is good now. But good morning, guys. Hope you're having a good start of your day, or if you're on the other side of the world, hope you've been having a good day, or whatever the case is for you. But as always, I like to start these off with the quote of the day, get a mindset, get us all on the same page. So the quote of the day is, "We live who we believe we are. So believe you're successful and start living that way today." Doesn't matter if your situation sucks. I'm promising you, like, just start like believing that you're living the life that you want to and making the right steps. I always tell people, if you're pulling up to a space stream or we're just talking, get some index cards, take some notes. And another thing about these, man, these will keep you so much more efficient than the regular person, because most people don't use a schedule. Most people don't use a calendar. Most people don't stay up to date. Some people have assistants, and that does help. But when you're doing this on your own and you got a lot of different moving parts and all that kind of stuff, it's really good to structure and organize your procedure. Because one of the biggest things I've ever learned, that I've learned so far, is to use tools, is to use things that will help, make you more efficient and more productive. And what that ultimately means is create a better system for your, whatever you're doing. If you're producing artwork, if you're producing streams, if you're, curating threads, if you're yapping, whatever the fuck it is, man, your system is going to be the one thing that kind of makes you stick out a little bit differently than the other people. If you got a hold on a second. Let's see this thought it was a little light out. Okay. Yeah, I can't see now. That's perfect, right? But your systems are really the biggest differentiator in like you versus me or somebody else. You can't compare your goals, or you can't compare yourself to others, because it's just too many different variables there. But the one thing you can compare and you can contrast on is execution, systems. Some people talk, and one thing about being successful and believing you're successful is slow, steady progress. It doesn't have to be everything in one day. It doesn't have to be. I was just talking to Tact, and he's like, "No, you got to speed run everything." No, dog, I'm not speed running everything because you say so. That's just not how it's going to go. Like, if his deal is to do it this way, the efficient way in his eyes, that's the way he goes. But I'm not going to change my process because he thinks I should do that. And my belief is precision beats, precision. What is it? Timing beats speed and precision beats power. I think I said it backwards, but my point is, if you know where you're going and you have that in sight, like, don't listen to anybody else. And number one, like, remember Tortoise in the Hare? The Hare was fast, took off, won the race, right? No, the Tortoise won. Slow and steady won the race. Slow money is better than no money. Fast money will get you a lot further, a lot quicker. But do you have substance? Did you build anything of value? Or are you relying on these factors? Like, your upkeep and your system is a little bit different. And shit, if it works for you, do it, run with it. But for me, my system's a little different. And there are other things that are just out of my control. Like, for instance, I'm not making a fucking decision and doing anything until my secret gets here. So, like, that gives me X amount of days until, I can start making that move. But the way I have things set up, the way I'm grinding towards it is, it's methodical. It's not just, wake up in the middle of, just jump on here. I put everything together. I have an outline. I got notes. I got things I want to do. I have, things I need to get done as soon as this is done. I have an announcement to make for Wednesday. I had to, adjust that time frame to make it work for my guest. So make sure that you're working on your systems. And if you're not, start today. Just be like, all right, well, what the fuck am I doing? Like, if you got a regular 9-to-5 job, or if you got a part-time job, whatever it is, like, write that shit down. Be like, okay, I waste 6 hours before I go to work just bullshit on here. Well, are the 6 hours, are you putting out your post? Are you making an impact? Are you creating any value? Are you replying to the people? Are your goals being met? Or are you just kind of hoping that they get there, milling through the day, smoking some weed, kind of wasting away? There he is right there, actually. There's a homie. speed gets you more timing, more opportunity. Yeah, speed will also get you burnt out. If you ever been in a fight before, you run out there and maybe you can get through the 3 rounds, but when it gets to the championship rounds, like the longer leg of the race, brother, you better have the stamina and you better have the willpower to go through that. That's just the fight situation. Let's say for you, for your instance, your personal situation at home changes. Your system might not work. That's just one thing to look at. So it's be ready to adjust your system. I'm not saying that speed isn't a good idea, but for me, I don't know. I keep it really simple and I make sure that I hit my marks. If I get to a point where, all right, this is getting a little easy, up the ante, improve your systems, and add more to what you're trying to execute on, and you're probably going to find better results. But like Tact is a G, he knows what he's doing, and it's good to have. All right, this is the thing: you have to be able to have this conversation with your friends and your peers, where you take a little bit, and it's like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just got to explain myself, and like I am thinking today, like, well, what could I do a little bit faster? Where could I pick that up without jeopardizing the integrity of anything? Speed will take you to the KO quicker. Sure, it will take you to the KO quicker, but what happened to Jose Aldo and McGregor, buddy? Jose went first, he hit him, but the precision and the timing, that knocked him the fuck out in 13 seconds. You can say whatever you want to on that one, brother, but who got knocked out first? And when McGregor runs into a round, he could barely make it 5 rounds because he goes out faster than the average guy. He has the shorter gas tank than most of the people. So you're right on your end, but again, like, let's see where we're at in 5 years. I'm not looking for next week. I don't need to hit your goals in my time frame. That doesn't make any sense. So I agree with you, but this isn't a debate. This is a non-negotiable for me. And like I said, tortoise or the hare. You let me know who won that race. 10 times out of 10, I think we know where we're at with that one. So back to the successful part. So part of that is, for me, it's like, well, how do you practice success? Well, you start showing up and executing the way you would. Like I kind of think in the back of my head, I have, my affirmations, where I want to go and what I want to do. All right, this is where like you're dealing with somebody like not taking it that serious. Brother, do what you got to do. I'm just going to close the chat on that because your argument is just defending your case over and over and over. My thing is, be authentic, be genuine. Let's just say if you think you're running faster, just look at your system, bro. And I guess one of the things is be a little bit more humble. Just know that your shit isn't my shit. I don't do the same shit you do. Our production, our output, our post, none of it looks the same. Don't continuously stress your point. Even if you think you're right, you can't just keep telling somebody, oh, well, this, oh, well, this. I'm still going to go back to the most basic thing in the world, tortoise or the fucking hare. So for me, it's not running straight out. It's not listening to anybody on the timeline telling me I got to do it this way, that way. I've been here long enough to know that what I'm doing is working and I can get better at it. Improving my system, not adapting somebody else, not defending myself constantly. This is supposed to be a different time, not, going back and forth with that. So by all means, brother, run as fast as you can but I probably beat you in a 400-yard sprint or a 100-yard sprint. I don't even know if you can do that one, but if you want to go on speed. But anyway, start believing you're successful, living that way. The way I look at things is I have, my goals, my affirmations, what I want to get to. And I start believing like, hey, how would I operate if I was here? If I was, if I had this job or if I had these clients or if I had this and that, what would I do as a professional in that aspect? Some people, kind of want to dog you a little bit because they don't take themselves as serious. So they make a big joke of everything to like dumb it down. No shade on that. Like it's keeping it a little bit less serious. And sometimes I do take myself more serious than others. And, you got to calm down with that a little bit. But at the same time, like I do want to be further than the other people. I don't live the same lives as them. Again, it's like somebody comparing their way to yours. And it's like, you might not know how to do this, but like most of the people probably can't nollie flip. And it's like, well, if you want to argue, like you can't do this, I can't do it. It's just stick to yourself, stay in your lane. Don't try and get other people to do what you're doing. Don't like, they'll pick up if they see success, or they'll take notes along the way. They're not just going to switch the game up because you said that's the way it's going to go. If we all did the same shit, it'd be a very fucking boring space, and we would all look exactly like the people that use bots, just automate their shit and their process. The people that are, down to it and really putting that work in, there's a different level. And by all means, do you just be respectful for the people around you. Just take it easy sometimes. But anyway, I'm SMS, a crypto content creator focused on the Solana ecosystem, working to keep Solana simple for everyone. I post daily across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and X, breaking it down, seeing what's happening in crypto and keeping people informed without the noise. That's one of the biggest things I'm seeing now. It's like you're seeing all of these huge KOLs and these new creators and shit like that. Oh, I'm going here. Brother, you should have been doing this shit years ago. But hey, by all means, at least you're seeing it now. There's a podcast. They used to do recorded shows or spaces. I suggested them, you should really go live. You should really start, doing shows like this. You have a good, whatever the fuck it's called. You have a good production. And they waited. Now they're doing good. They ran with it. And, the idea, it was like, I had to tell them for like 6 to 7 months, you should probably do this. You should probably do this. And they finally listened and put it together. And it's dope, but just be careful. People like that, sometimes they like to take a little bit out of yours and call it theirs. You just got to remember, like, that's not your shit. Don't worry about that. But yeah, my goal with spaces, streams, and content is to highlight people and the network and the ones building, sharing, and shaping the future of crypto and Web3. And I'm going to give you a little bit of what I got, what I've learned along the way. And I'm going to give you the real raw take. So I'm not going to pull any punches. I don't really curb my words, and I don't really say sorry for much. I learned that from Dan Pena. He's a very successful guy. He's a complete dickhead, and he's raw and rugged. He calls it exactly the way it is, and not everybody likes that, but that's not for everybody. But the people that do get it, they're like, okay, you're not bullshitting me. You're being real. So if you like what you're hearing, guys, make sure to share this out. Get more people in here. We got 29 of you in here. I do appreciate that. In my bio, you guys can click on the link tree. It has all the different platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of that's there. I'm very, very fucking proud of the numbers that I've been doing the last month and a half. I haven't missed one day of posting a video. At least one video has been posted every day. Yesterday was supposed to be 2 to 3. I only got one done. Had a shitty morning, but I regrouped, picked myself back up, and finished fucking strong. And I felt good going to bed. I felt, ready for yesterday. And that's part of the system. It's like I knew exactly what I should be doing. I got my head out of my ass. I took a really nice trade. And I was patient with it. Normally, I 100x that bitch, and I'm trying to hit that number in like 5-10 minutes. But I've set this for a significantly lower leverage. It was like 28x or something like that. Something I typically don't do. I put half of my bag in there that I have the trade with, and it worked out, man. I hit like 90% on that, and I'm happy with a 28x 90% leverage. Sure, there's going to be people, oh, I hit this. Motherfucker, I don't care. Like... You ain't putting money in my pocket, so just stay on your stream, stay in your lane again. So with that being said, guys, I have a cool, not cool. I have a new guest. I have a pretty exciting announcement. A longtime friend of the space, been around since 2021. Homie's been grinding, made a huge announcement. I'm eager to find out what it is, but I got a feeling. I kind of looked around and did my own homework to see what it was. So we're gonna be having him on Wednesday, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be SMS Live 101, and I'll announce who that is after the show. I'm going to make a post, do the whole thumbnail, all of that kind of stuff. But as always, we do the 7:30 GM chat. Yesterday, like I said, I had a rough start, and it's not that I wasn't feeling it. I needed to take some time to really focus in on a couple different things. But Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am open and looking for sponsors. If you guys want to, help sponsor the stream, you want to help put your, get some content out there. If it's something I align with, hit me up. Maybe we can work something out. Be more than happy to, figure something out. Maybe make some other content for you as well. But I also do Simply Chilling every Sunday and Wednesday. And Sundays are at 11. Wednesday nights are at 9 p.m. All of these are EST. I was supposed to have Unify on last Sunday. They had some family things or whatever the case was. Wasn't really much of a popping stream, and I guess I was kind of leading into a shitty, mindset, just kind of dealing with stuff, and I don't know, didn't really do as well as I wanted to. But I opened the stream. I waited for about 10, 15 minutes to see if any other guests came in there. And I just had to wrap it up. I'll just be honest with you guys. So I showed up. It wasn't my day. I struck out. And that's the thing, man. I posted the other day, 946 shots Michael Jordan took, winning shots. He only made like 146 of them or something like that, meaning he missed over 700 shots. The other thing about Michael Jordan, he's a fucking GOAT. Everybody knows Michael Jordan, not just for basketball, for other things he's done. But the biggest thing is, man, this dude failed. This dude didn't even get picked for his team. And he worked his ass off. He worked harder than anybody else was willing to. And that's like one of those things. It's a testament. And Kobe is a lot like that. It's somebody I really admire. His work ethic, his drive, his dedication to his craft. And it's not always about getting more. It's just one more. Sometimes it's just one more score, one more shot, one more anything, whatever it is, one more piece of art, one more post. Like if that's your thing, do it. You know, I tell people when I go to the gym, like I set for a number of reps. And if I can get one more, even if I fail on that one more, I'm glad I did that one more because it's going to get me stronger for that next time I try to do it, or next time I will succeed at doing it. But always do one more. Always make it a point to think about, can I do one more? Am I being complacent right here? And another thing you could kind of put in the back of your head is turn your shoulds into must. Like I must do one more every time. Even if you don't do it, even if you don't succeed at it, the fact that you have it in your head, you're willing to do it. That's the biggest thing. Me and Quicks were talking about this, the willingness to fail at something. Most people don't have that. They don't want to, make an ass of themselves. They don't want to, come out and be like, oh, this isn't worth it. Well, shit, dude. Sunday was kind of like a failure in a sense. It was striking out the plate, but I showed up. I got the at bat. I got some more reps, and maybe I needed a little bit more planning. Maybe I needed a little bit more communication. Maybe it's on me. It is on me. Complete accountability. But yeah, that's the schedule. GM chat Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. SMS live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for Wednesday. One-on-one's going to be at 4 p.m. this week. Simply chilling Sunday and Wednesday, 11 and 9. I might change those up, but right now I like them. I need to put together a schedule so you guys can see them. I think it is in my bio, but again, share that out there, get more people into the space. But one more thing, guys, before we get into taking a look at these charts and see what's going on with the market. I'm also the artist and founder of the Web3 Underdogs, a one-on-one art collection available by commission only. So far, only got one person on there. I did, give a gift to Trey, but I haven't seen that, and I don't really know what's going on with that thing anymore. And it doesn't really add to the collection, but I did a really cool one-on-one. I enjoyed drawing that, and that's one thing. It's like performing out of purpose. I wasn't expecting much out of it. I wanted to just give him something because, in my opinion, he kind of fits that standard of the Web3 underdog. Someone that's trying to make it, has opportunity, he was trying to build something, and just knowing him personally, I think that suited him. But that's something you want, something you like. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to customize one. If you have a dog you want me to make it look like, I can do that too. That's exactly what I did for his. Change the ears up, put spots on it so it looks exactly like his pup. And yeah, the other one is it's a DeGod, derivative. It's a underdog and a DeGod. It looks pretty cool. But I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, and I wanted to make a collection of the people in this space that, whether you're an underdog or you don't believe you're an underdog, if you just like the idea of it, if you like and you want to support, that's one of the best ways. All those commissions are going to help, continue moving forward in this space. So that's where that goes. It's not like, oh, he's just going to go out and party. Like, no, not that. It's not an arm and a leg, but it's definitely something. But yeah. So let's get into this, guys. I want to take a look at Bitcoin's chart, see what we got going on over there. All right, let me reset the chart view here. Ta-da. All right. I like TradingView. It keeps my lines on there so you guys can see exactly what we got going on. So I have adjusted this. This was riding the trend, but since it broke that trend and it came down here, I mean, it's still technically in that range. It's just not on that trend line anymore. It came down and deviated just a little bit. That happens. And you should expect that to happen. If you don't, then you're probably not looking at things correctly, or I don't know. But I adjust it and I keep watching to see where the levels are. And these are levels of support and resistance, all these lines here. And I was breaking this down for Pat yesterday. I entered a trade based off of what I was seeing on the chart. Bottom line, I just saw it, felt the momentum, felt the sentiment across the board, and I was able to, look at some previous historical price action, and that was able to let me enter that long position. And like I said, it was a little bit lower leverage than I typically go with because there's not as risk adverse as I want to be. I do like doing the risky stuff because it keeps you on your toes, it keeps you sharp, but at the same time, you can get burnt because you don't control the market. And that's a learning lesson a lot of you will have if you always try to do that. A lot of the best traders, a lot of the best people that I've kind of come into contact with and taken advice from, they say do not leverage. Like, don't bet your bag on leverage. That you'll probably lose it all. I mean, the James Wynn is a great example of this. This guy was up fucking generational money, and brother still fumbled the bag. Shit. There is no goddamn way I would be fumbling a bag like that. There's no fucking way. But that's greed, and that's what it'll get you. But he made a donation wallet after that, and for some reason, if people are sending him money, I don't understand that whole concept. You guys are absolutely retarded if you're sending people money like that for those kinds of things. Whatever. That's you. But that's why you don't trade with emotion and you don't bet against the market. This guy's trying to short the market in a bull run and a bull trend. Like, what? Why would you do that? But hey, sometimes you got to bet it that crazy if you want to make it. But anyway, watching this trend go up here, we have a couple points of support and resistance. Now, I was saying if this was to come down here, this is the next, this is the first part where you would catch. And then we had this line right here where you had previous tops, resistance, broke through a couple times, but it failed to hold here. All of these, same thing. It rejected basically. And I don't make these perfect on like to a T. I don't need to be fucking wizard technical analysis. Like, this is how I chart, bro. Look, here, let me help you out with this real quick. Hold on. Where's it at? Ta-da. Look, this is how I chart. You gotta have fun with this shit, bro. And now we're going to 120K. Or what's that? 130. This is where what it will do. It'll take you all the way up. But these lines right there, I just kind of put them on as guides. So I look back and be like, all right, where are we at? This looks like it's going to hold here. This looks pretty strong because you have that resistance that became support. Almost did the same thing here. But all of these points, I just call them intersections. And I call it traffic when you have a lot of different points that just keep hitting that same line all the way across. So once you start to see that, that means everybody else is looking and seeing the same thing. So all of us that are watching these charts, the biggest thing about this is like we're seeing the same thing, we're probably thinking the same thing. Whether you're a bull or a bear makes a difference there. Like, do you think this is going to hold? And some of the things that you can use are your indicators. You have RSI and the MACD. Both of these are really good for swing trading because you're able to see, all right, what happened previously when this dipped all the way down here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So down here, this MACD, where you have these lines, like think about this like breathing. Like when you're taking a deep breath, you go, that's when you want to long. That's when you want to enter your long position all the way down here at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know exactly what all these numbers represent right here. I can just tell you based off of this, the red and the green are what you want to pay attention to when it's green, and the blue line flips over the yellow signal line. You're starting to see some motion there, and you want to pay attention to that. Blue on top means bullish. When the orange line is underneath, you're going bearish. You're going back down. It works every single time. So this one right here is a good example. We came down here, took a deep breath. See this from this top up here? Took a deep breath. Looks like it was trying to, check to see if we could bounce back up, but it got rejected. Right there, it shows the same thing on your MACD, and it came all the way back down. We had this little bit of sell-off. This is where I saw an opportunity. I was like, okay, if we flipped over here, blue's on top of orange, and we're moving back up, we got some green now. And this is all historically. You can't see it in advance. Obviously, it's not going to tell you, predict the market of where it's going to go. This could all be crashing down right now. This could be the beginning of a downtrend. I don't think it's the case, but that could technically happen. Like, look at these other spots previously where it doesn't get that support that wants to. Like, this looks like it's about to go up, resisted, right? Look down here, same exact thing. Looks like it was about to go up, resisted, boom, all the way down here. Big deep breath. So you set your long and hope that it runs all the way back up there, but it gives you a good indicator of where it's going to go. So that's the MACD. I learned how to, watch these just going on YouTube, taking notes. When I first got into this whole crypto fucking trading investment journey, I took one of these spiral bound notebooks. If you ever hear me talk about the yellow book, this is it. And I literally started at the back of this thing and made, it's called stock lingo. That's what I named it. So like little things that I was watching from this guy, Chris, saying it was build wealth with ease, priorities first, rent, bills, savings, emergency funds, set up auto payments for all that kind of stuff. Keep dry powder. It's your cash position, buying power. Make sure that you have it ready and available for red days. Red days are these days where they sell off. But like I was just saying to you, when these things are going down, when you're buying stocks, you want to buy them on red days. When everybody's like, oh, the market's bleeding. Oh, everything's going to shit. That's perfect. That's where you want to be a bull. You want to be like, yes, I will take what you were giving me for cheap. Same thing with our meme coins, same thing with our altcoins and stuff like that. Red days are days to stack up, accumulate, and buy. But I literally didn't know any of this prior. I was like, I have no idea what trailing stop loss is. I don't know what a limit sell order is. I don't know what rinse and repeat means. Rinse and repeat, run up the price 20% or more, sell, cool off, go back in. Volatility, falling knife, trying to buy play before it hits its low, let it drop and find support. So little things like that. Like seeing it is one thing, hearing it is another, practicing it is even better. But when you write it down and you make this shit real, you never forget this stuff. And if you do, you have a resource right there. Like I made my own glossary of terms so I could understand the vocabulary. I come from, I guess, a little bit more of a blue collar street kind of construction background. I knew how to fucking build shit, swing a hammer, and get the job done efficiently and effectively. And I knew how to organize a team and kind of just say, hey, you guys, this, that, another thing. I had that thing. It's kind of like playing sports. You pass me the ball, I'm going to see who's open, going to create opportunities, going to pass the ball around, make the defense move to find some vulnerabilities and what they got. And it's the same exact thing. So, where was I going with that? I forget. Anyway, the stuff that you don't know, that's why I said keep your index cards, take notes, write the shit down, go back through, do your own research with it, do your own understanding of it, and that'll help you trade. So that's okay. Yeah, that's how I got into it. Stocks, options, lingo, and all of that. Like I had no idea what these indicators were. Like RSI, I was like, the fuck is this squiggly line doing here? RSI, I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Well, once I took the time to really look into it, relative strength index, and if it's at 30, that's oversold. That's a signal. And if it's at 70 or higher, that's overbought. You can use this thing I've been posting on the timeline, Ask Splat. Not working with them, not connected to them at all. I just saw it on the timeline. I was like, that's dope. It's literally an app where you can plug in a ticker and then it brings up a chart and then it has support and resistant lines and different things you can add on there. So you can ask it, hey, can you give me a technical analysis on it? It does it for you. It does a really good job at it. So it's something I'm going to be playing with a little bit more and seeing how it works. And there is like a daily tracker. So I guess there's rewards or points or something like that there may be. I haven't read their documents. I haven't done all of that. So I don't know exactly on that end, but I do know the tools are pretty cool. It's the same thing as going to ChatGPT, taking a screenshot, typing it in there and saying, hey, you have to use the prompt like this. Like I'm a professional day trader. I win all the time. I put myself in positions to win. Take a look at this chart, do some evaluations, do some research on this, and let me know, if this is a good entry or, let me know what you see kind of stuff. Well, Ask Splat does exactly that. It's just one app, which is a very cool concept. AI is definitely going to help, but you need that human element to get in there. That's the timing. If you just see it and you run into it and you don't do your own research, you could get wrecked because, again, this is just predictions. What that is doing is using models from previous. It's using examples from previous trades or previous price action charts and stuff like that. It's taking a look at all of its data when it comes down to whatever, I guess, API they scraped and put in there. But when you start, when you look at some of these posts where it's like, notice these chart patterns. Well, I used to study them so I could like look at it, be like, oh, that's this is that. That's a falling this, whatever. Doesn't really matter too much if you understand what you're looking at, but when you explain it to somebody, it does sound a lot better when you're like, this is this thing. So I take what I see, I create what I want with that, and I use the tools that are there to give me good indicators of where to go. And that's literally the only way that I was able to hit the trades that I've hit that are successful. The ones that I rush into, it's a 50-50 because I'm kind of gambling at that point. But Bitcoin looks good. It's still trending up here. We break below this. You have some points right here. Like there might be another line like right there, I guess, because you got some stuff over here where there's a top, a little bit of rejection, and right here. So there's another level. I don't see too much here except like in this area you don't have anything. But if you look back, you can see this is resistance. Resistance broke through and it failed to hold that. Broke out here though, but then it became support, broke through the support, but then it bounced back over top and then broke all the way through. Again, same exact thing until we trended all the way down from here. This is back in January, all the way to here. This was a complete sell-off. And some people say, oh, the market's cooked. We're cooked. We're cooked. Well, you could have been shorting the market the whole time and then running it back up. But again, don't do the fallen knife thing. Wait till you find your position, enter it when you find support. If you don't have these lines up there, you'll be looking at like, is this support? I have no idea. Well, that's why we use our indicators. That's why we use the lines, and you build from there. But that's Bitcoin. It's at $105,289. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. I'm happy with that. That's that's a beautiful thing to see, man. It really is. I do think we get to the 150 to 200 category at some point this year. We've got all summer, and typically up until the end of fall or beginning of fall, you start to see some other bullish moves up in that area. With Trump in office, man, like we could see this just be a real super cycle that we've talked about. It could be the real Solana summer that we've been waiting for. But we'll see. It will play out the way it needs to. So let's take a look at some salami coins and see what we got. We got green all over the market here for all the chains on Bird Eye. I'm going to click on Solana and see what these guys look like. All right, green all over the place again. We got Kitty up. Shout out to Des. She posted about Kitty. Good to see that play work out. Look like she's making some bread. Let's see what else we got here. Anything? No, nothing to really care about. Most of these, I would imagine, except for Giga, that's probably going to be a good player. The rest of these probably die at some point. Kitty might not, but I don't know if Hello Kitty and that it's going to be a conflicting issue. I'm always curious about those kinds of things and skeptical about entering in those positions because we saw what happened with that fungi or whatever the fuck it was, or chill guy. Who knows what that coin's up to anymore? Maybe it's doing good. I'm not paying attention to it though. This is not anything I would want to enter just because the movement right here. You're at 4.1 or 4.18 million on the market cap here. You have 4,450 holders. What that actually means is wallets. It's not actual holders. There's not people. There's not 4,500 people in there. It's wallets, and it even went down just 100 people since I said that, which is funny. But she posted about this, I would say somewhere around here. So you had an opportunity to get back in here. That would have been a good point to enter. I'm going to go to the 2 hour just so we see a little bit more. Yeah. So this right here, this is what I'm seeing. If I was to get into this, I would have wanted to jump in here just because all of this resistance and all of this support, like I said, you guys just take a fucking line, chop right through it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can dollar cost average yourself into this position. But when you do this, you can see, all right, this went here, it failed, and then it bounced back up. Now it's playing on top of this. See, didn't go through. Now we're bouncing from here. Now, does this come back here in range, or does this find another piece of support right here? Does this staircase its way up? I don't know. It'll have to play out. But again, this is too close to the top for me. I wouldn't want to make an entry into this position. Even though it is a red day, I would look for something like these, like a couple different days of selling off, or time periods where it's more red. Anything like kind of trending up here, you're putting yourself in a position to potentially get wrecked unless you got that dry powder, that buying power on your side. So keep that in mind. But Kitty seems like it's a good play if you were able to get in at the right time. All right, now we got let's take a look at Jupe. Yesterday there was a vote. I don't know if it's closed or not. I don't know how long those things stay open, but I definitely got my Jupe staked. I just buy a little bit of it as often as I can, every week if I can, and I added into that. It was under 50 cents for quite a while. Under 60 cents is even a buy. This thing has been up to, let me go all the way back here to the 4 hour. There you go. bunch of activity. Well, we don't need to focus on that too much. But bought a shit ton of this and was trading in and out. But was able to catch a lot of this run up. I did sell just before this breakout right here, so I'm not even going to act like I got the full upside of this. And the rest of my bag, I think I emptied it somewhere on here. And it did go higher. It went up to almost $2, $1.80. But since then, it was a downtrend all the way through here. You did have a little bit of a stagnation right here, and it tried to pop up here, did fill some gaps, but it got invalidated and broke all the way back down. Lower lows all the way through here, lower highs all the way through here until we had a full reversal all the way down here. And when I saw this area specifically, this is what I want to point out to you guys. When you start to see, all right, this is the TGE area, airdrop, all of that good stuff. And when you see it all the way over here, over this huge course of time, give you this entry, look at this low, man. If you see this on any chart and it's something of value, not just a meme, you should really consider some options here. So this is Jupiter. This is one of the, in my opinion, it's one of the engines of Solana. Solana is partially what it is because of things like Jupiter. It's because of Jupiter and everything that they do for the ecosystem. Amazing stuff. They even included lending. That's something that I'm going to be taking a look into for supply and borrowing on that. And I'm sure you're going to get some points for that. Just kind of like Sharkify with NFTs, but now you're able to, do it with coins. Sharkify included some meme coins in there too. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but yeah, I reached out to them. They got their own team. So if you don't know, they got to do a better job. Or we can get in a chat and talk about that. Anyway, this thing came all the way down here. It bounced on here and then it broke through right there. And when I saw that breakthrough, I was like, oh shit, like what's going on? Everybody's fear, doubt. I was like, hold up. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I bet. Let me get into this thing. Let me start buying in here, because I missed all of this, like right here after that, actually, like I wasn't really doing too much. And I did buy a couple points here, did sell up here, and it was a good move. But once I saw it come all the way down under this line, I was like, fuck, I'm at it as much as I can. I'm buying into this position and I'm staking it all. I'm letting it sit there. I'm going to be voting. They got airdrops. They reward their voters. They reward their community. They hook it the fuck up. So I got in there. And as you guys can see, since we hit that point of reversal all the way down here, lower than this line, that's where we bottomed out before we made that nice fill the gap all the way to the top. Like I said, we broke through and then it did it again. I was like, fuck, dude, this is crazy. Again, you're going to give me another chance. So you're going to look at it. Here's a W. Here's a bigger W. This is kind of where I'm looking at now. Where do you think this goes to? Well, we filled that gap. And remember how I showed you guys this line right here, the depth of your cup typically is where this shoots up from after the handle. Came kind of close, not straight up, but it came kind of close to that. Again, these aren't perfect, little lines and shit like that. So whatever. Oh, you get the fucking point. I'm not going through all of that. What I will show you though is from here to here, you got a very nice trend line, just like we were seeing with Bitcoin. So we're just going to watch that, make sure it extends up. If you're looking to do like trades or scalp this or whatever, what you want to look at is your support and resistance now. Like, where do I think this can go to? And you also have to be confident with yourself to exit a position, not worry if this continues to run like to crazy levels. If you get too worked up on that, you'll probably fail a lot more than you succeed. And that's what it takes to learn. I don't want to see you guys fail, but if you're not willing to, you probably will by accident. So you see the support, bouncy, bounce, 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 rejected. Came all the way through up here. So we did fill the gap right there. It did have a ugly cup and handle, but it is technically a little bit of a cup and handle situation. But I think we are fighting to get here. The only thing stopping us is these points of resistance, or support rather, that have become resistance. We can bounce through that. I believe we will probably hit this right here. This is going to be my other target. I feel like I got to sneeze. I don't know why. I just feel like it came on. Aren't you supposed to yell up and say coconut or something? I don't know. Any bats in the cave, guys? Let's see. Let's see. What the fuck was I doing? Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right. So there's one. That's a little low. I don't like that one. I want to use this. This looks strong for some reason. This is speaking to me. I don't know. It's speaking chart to me. All right, guys. How many people we got in here now? 46 years. Thanks for coming in, guys. I really do appreciate all your support. If you could share this out, get a couple more people. We got about 15, 20 minutes left on this little morning sermon. I'm kidding. This is not a sermon. All right. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I'll be looking for. That support right there broke down throughout here. I mean, we did bounce a couple of times up through here, but technically it just started failing. It wasn't holding it. It's going even lower. Once we hit this point, rejection both times, and it wasn't holding up. Sell off, downtrend, yada yada yada. We break through this one next time on this trend up here. Hopefully we get, in this range and it starts to work its way up. But I do think that it's going to take us getting all the way to this point here, which is 84 cents before we're going to break out to the dollar range, stuff like that. Because once you hit the 84, I mean, it's not going to take much to get through here. You do have a little bit of a channel. You're going to even add a line right here just so you kind of see the same thing I'm seeing. So that's 96 cents right there. Not the straightest line I've ever charted, but it is what it is. Or maybe it's this one that's not straight. Yeah. Again, you don't have to be pinpoint accurate with these. You can use these as guides. They're not supposed to be, truly like charting for you. They're supposed to just be indicators of where things are going, where they could go. So you're going to be looking at this to break through here, bounce along this line. Then we're going to have some support and resistance at the 84 cents. That's to fill that gap right there. If we can, break through there, it looks like it's going to be going up. If you look long term, if we fill this gap, let's just play, perfect world scenario. I'm going to chart here. Let me just go down. I guess let me just call the middle of that one. Doesn't have to be perfect. Not for what we're doing. But that depth of that cup, if we get here, where does this send us? Where is the likelihood that this could end up? What's the top? Again, measure your cup, look at your support and resistance, and put it on top of there. See if you have anything that's lining up with this. And it looks like that, honestly, could be the point. Come on. There are a couple points where this broke through, but this is at $1.21, and this looks like the resistance became resistance. We don't have many points of this becoming support, so we would like to see that at least in here. I think if you zoom out just a hair, you probably see some previous price action because, like I said, this did get up to like $1.80 or so. Chart's not moving with me. There we go. Okay. So if you extend this all the way back here, it shows out pretty damn good. So there's our resistance. Kind of resisted there too. Here, all of that right there again. That's if we get that cup and handle that I was just telling you guys about off of this line, wherever this lands, this is what we're kind of looking for, this whole big cup. I mean, you can kind of see it in this situation right here as well. See this little dotted line all the way across there? It's a giant cup. That's a W. All of these zigzag or this volatility, these lines right here, if you just kind of trace it, you'll see what I'm saying. This is the cup. Handle broken down. Didn't get that move. Take the depth of your cup again. Chart it from here to here. Where was this going to go? Well, let's just find out. Somewhere around here, right? That doesn't look bad. That would fill this cup. We get that cup and handle, and it just keeps making these same repeating patterns. It doesn't always work out like this. This chart is fucking crazy looking, so we're just going to move straight over to FWOG. Too many goddamn lines on there, and at 8:21. So we'll speed run through some of these. I don't really need to do too much explaining here. This is the fucking bottom. This is FWOG. The one thing I will really kind of highlight for you guys is something I noticed before breakout. Are these two things. Beautiful. All right, so these tops, this resistance, right? Had it here, hit it right there. We did break through there, but it wasn't able to hold it. This was not too long ago, a few days ago, maybe last week or so. So when I noticed that, and we've been just flat sideways in the community's building, we got 82,250 freaking wallets here, man. It's telling you that there's people holding this thing for real. 59 million on the market cap. And I mean, if you didn't put a name to this, you'd be like, that's a shitty chart. That thing's dead. No, it isn't. No, the fuck it isn't. This FWOG is my dog. And I love this fucking coin. I like the artwork. I like the vibe. I like everything about it. Me and the homie Dex were talking about this. If you don't follow Dexro, you're doing yourself a disservice. Me and him, like, I don't know what it was, but the last fucking 6 weeks, me and him have been like, trade for trade. We're getting into the same coins, just seeing the same things. And it's just he's one of my favorite Mad Lad homies, or one of the homies I met with Mad Lads, and stayed really close with him. But we were just talking about this during one stream and just seeing the same coins popping up over and over and over. So this is what I see. This is kind of funny looking. This is like a car. Let's just make it a car. Look, if you're whoa. It's a boy FWOG. Jesus Christ, dude. Something's wrong with me for real. All right. You ain't got a door on here, dude? You need a door, dude. All right. All right. Car's a little fucked up, but don't hate. My man's got to get somewhere. Some little fast lines. That's real charting. We need a tail light so he doesn't get a ticket. I should do chart art. Just a whole series on drip with just chart. Whoa. Take it easy there, fella. All right, you guys get it. FWOG. All right, let's take a look at Troll real quick. Oh, a little bit of a sell-off. You bitch ass motherfucker. All right, so I really like this coin. I really think that this meme has virality like out the ass. I think it's on par with a lot of our favorite memes. But everybody knows this. They recognize it. They see it. Yeah. So remember, Kitty kind of looked like this, and I was like, hey, ain't no way I'm getting in this thing. Well, that's why I wanted to come make something like this happen. So I didn't get. When did I get into this? It's somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. So I saw this big old sell off, and I was like, hold up. This thing has a lot of reasons to move up, to make a run. We don't have to chart this one out, but basically the same rules apply. You kind of got to look at your cup, your handle. It failed it, but this is the one thing you can kind of look at. Where's that? Right about there. Yeah. So it's almost nailed it on this chart. Oh. Almost played out picture perfect, like textbook, but it doesn't always work out that way. So this guy, come on, let's move you over here. So if you put this down here to the bottom of your candle, where's it go? Like, I'm not making magic up here, fam. This is the depth of that cup. This is where this handle came down. This is your leg up. So you knew where to trade this from. It's very clear. And start playing around with this on your own charts, looking at that. And this is helpful for you guys. This is the value you got today. So hopefully I showed you a little something. You look it up on YouTube, look it up on Google, check out with ChatGPT, see if this holds through, check out previous charts, and just keep testing things to say like, hey man, that works. I like it because if it works, if you like it, start practicing success. Start practicing this without entering position. Start looking at previous points where this played out, and then try to time it, try to make it work for you. That's the best way or best thing I can say to you. But anyway, this all looks like just a wedge, looking like it's starting to consolidate and coil down. It's probably going to go. What I would like to see is this go. You know what I mean? Hit us with one of these little shimmies, whatever you want to call them, right through the middle. Typically, when you have a run up, it comes down at least 50%, and then it kind of maintains that level. So here's your top. If you were to draw a line like this, let me just get rid of that one. That looks like dog shit. So top, bottom, this is another little trick you can look at. So that's your length right there. You want to look at this halfway, like where's the middle of this thing? So 4 cents. So I'm gonna be looking at 2 cents and a or so. Yeah. So right here. Basically where this line is kind of can I move that whole thing? Yeah. So that's halfway down, and look where it ends up going. That like it literally kind of shows you like, all right, if this runs all the way up here without having much of a retracement. I mean, you did have this, but it kept going. It broke through all of that. Where did it find support again? Halfway down. Just like that. And then you start to use this for your technicals. You start to look at this for charting reasons going forward. You see that resisted here, resisted there, found support here, found support there. It just plays out like this typically. So let me clean this thing up. But it is 8:30 on the dot. I do appreciate you guys. We are going to wrap this up. But this is GM Chat. Typically, like I said, we go over market news, trends, whatever's going on. If we have to do an interview with somebody on the other side of the world before their job, we'll do that kind of thing with the one-on-ones. But for the most part, this is just kind of catching you up to speed, getting your mindset right, and discussing things like that. But I do think we're in a good position. I think that Bitcoin is making its move up. We got the rocket ready to go. Probably going to put some more fuel in the tank, take this up to 125, 130K. Love to see it. But if you guys like what you saw, make sure that you share this out, get more people tuned in. I do appreciate all the support, man. It means a lot. But we are going to wrap this up. I got some shorts to record and put out there for you. Oh, before we go, I don't even have X open. My pinned tweet is it's a video on Solflare and talking a little bit about the Seeker, that how they're connected. Go ahead and watch that video so you can see what I'm talking about and why it's important to get yourself acquainted with Solflare wallet and why it's the #1 wallet on Solana. This is a biased and factual opinion. Find another stream if you want to disagree. But no, I'm just kidding. Stay here. We'll talk about all types of fun stuff. But no, I really do like what I've been seeing. I joined the Guardians, and I got invited into their Guardian group. So I am going to be representing Soulflare as much as I can, talking about it. I do think it is a good wallet. This isn't just like oh, I need something kind of thing. I'm back home where I started. Oh, before I go, I guess we should kind of get into this. I'm only going to spend about 60 seconds on this right here. So most of you are aware of the whole situation with Say and the falling out that I had with the network, foundation, and the community all together. I'm still friends with some of the people within that community, and some people have reached out. My DMs are littered with very, very similar stories, which was concerning to me, and that's why I spoke the fuck up. Most people aren't going to speak up for the things that they see here because they're worried about the reputation, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, yada, yada. Like, don't be a pussy. You can say whatever you want to here, and the people that you should probably be around are not going to mind, and it's not going to matter too much. That they'll either disregard it or they'll reach out and be like, hey man, I see what you're going through, I'm here for you, whatever the case is, man. That's what friends and people do. That's the next level. If I was running a community, I would never let my community member get like that. I wouldn't ignore them, I wouldn't block them, I wouldn't not speak to them, and I wouldn't remove accountability from myself. I'm just a different kind of person. So the payment that never came through when everybody else got paid. The next week didn't get paid. No response. I was blocked from the devil guy, removed from damn near every single person that's in the foundation and network. And it's because I spoke up on what I believe was wrong. I spoke up on favoritism. I spoke up on them literally watching. I put all of their things on there and I explained all this shit, but I just watch patterns. And the same thing with charts, man. You start to see things over and over and over again. It's like, this isn't by just fucking happenstance. So I spoke up, and I made a post that said this might jeopardize everything I'm doing here, but I think it's the right thing to do. And whatever. I'm not anybody's savior. It's just sometimes you've got to speak up with what's right. Shit was not sitting with me well, and it was bothering me. I was putting all of my time and energy into Say from what I knew, and I was trying to bring the vibes and value from Solana that I was able to help cultivate and build over to Say. It got rejected, and it got bad because I was a new guy. I was a new guy in there trying to talk whatever, but come to find out, I wasn't the only one feeling this way. A lot of other people have left that chain. A lot of people have, distanced themselves a little bit from it. And, I wasn't in there just for the yapping, for the Kaido. I was there from December all the way through January until they started that incentivization for talking about the chain. When I got blocked out of the first one, that sucked. The second one, I worked from not even on the chart to 20th out of 100. Should have entitled a bonus. Well, they finally paid. Okay. They didn't give me the bonus that I was due. They gave me, bare necessities. They told me last week, they're going to send it out max by Friday. Got it yesterday morning. So yes, I'm happy on that end. Wasn't enough for everything I need, but it helped keep the lights on, I guess, and help with a couple other things. But the point is, immediately after I sent in on the 20th, I sent a message to Devil. He ignored that in Telegram. On the 20th, I sent a message to Say Network when I said, hey, I need the link for the form. They sent it back to me immediately. Well, maybe not immediately, but that day. The very next thing I did was, hey, after I submitted my response, the same day, same conversation, same context, and I saw them interacting with other posts, other people, other things going on, and it also said seen. So I know that they read my message. I said, hey, I don't see anywhere to put your wallet. Let that go for about 4 days or 5 days or something like that. I was like, I guess it's okay. I guess they're going to use Kaido. Even went into the Kaido Discord. And that's when I was posting about, hey, there's scammers all over this Kaido fucking, help desk. There's scammers trying to, answer these questions and scam me. I've gone through that whole ringer. I've seen how that happens. And I only went there to say, hey, do you guys know where the wallet's coming through? Because Say Network will not answer me. I've been blocked. I've been removed. And they were like, oh, shit. That sucks. Like, no, we have nothing to do with that. They were only assuming that they were going to use the EVM wallets that were attached to Kaido. I resubmitted the form. I checked with Crypto Hunter. I checked with everybody else, like NFT Bear. I think even asked him, Kosa, all of the people that were, prominent figures or names. as far as content creators on the timeline. I think there's a differentiator between content like this and typing. That's very, very different. But I asked them because they've had experience, and no one just spoke up and said, "Hey, let me answer your questions," from the team, from the community. Like I said, I got kind of like shunned, kicked out, and removed from the community for doing so, and then I just started speaking up on what I believed in, and kind of got attacked for some by some people because of it, which is due. I don't care about that, but it's like every one of those people had my number. Everybody had an opportunity to give me a call, set up a meeting, explain something, but the community failed. It's not the first time, and a lot of people, like I said, there's no sense in rehashing it after this conversation, but a lot of people in my DMs are dealing with the same types of things, seeing the same types of things, and it's just like there's other chains out there that are not going to make you feel like this. So I'm going to be moving on, but I did get the payment that I was due. It took a extensive amount of being Laudio. It took me being a little bit of a dickhead because I was due to that. They made rules up there, but their claim was after all of that, they said, you never put your EVM wallet or put your wallet in here. Well, you never acknowledged my messages asking about what wallet. You could avoid all of this fucking situation, but these guys don't do the due diligence. They don't seem to care about the community more than they care about bringing people on and pushing that narrative. We're seeing the fallout of InfoFi. We're seeing how these guys are moving on. Sure, you're going to have some core guys that stay with all these change, but a lot of the homies are straight up like, hey, nothing personal. I'm here to get paid. And some of them are getting really good fucking money. What are they going to do afterwards? I don't know. I don't know where it goes after this. I'm kind of removing myself from that and going to continue on and stay in my lane with the way I talk about things, the way I produce content, the way I do all of this. I don't want to, I was never a threader. I was never one of those people just to talk incessantly about shit. I'll talk about the cool shit that I see, but it was never incessantly about one thing like that, except for Solana. But I was only on Solana, and I left ETH because it made more sense, So we're done there. Say's cooked. This is quotes from some of their OGs that have whatever communities over there. I'm moving on, and I'm not even sorry about a damn thing. I'm glad I did what I did. I'm glad I stood for what I stand for. And some people say that you're shooting yourself in the foot. It was also referred to me that I'm a 3-story house on shaky legs and stuff like this because of this whole situation. And yeah, some of that's true, but the kind of person I am is willing to do whatever the fuck it takes at all costs. And sometimes it's rebuild from the ground up. And if the tower collapses, well, I got pieces to start from. I got a foundation there. And, I'm back home, back where I feel more comfortable when it comes to content, people, the sentiment, everything there. So some people have kind of reached out and said, it's good to have you back. We see it, and we're happy to, see you there. And, it's only up from here. We can only continue to build and move forward. But that's that. I just wanted to make sure it was very clear. You guys heard it from me, nothing else. And it's not like I'm hiding it. But I don't owe them anything. The amount of time it took for them to have any correspondence, they don't deserve that kind of respect. I mean, if a company was holding your anything for that amount of time without answering you, how would you feel? Think about it like that. And the difference is we're very close to this company. Some people argue, well, not all blockchains are as small as SEC. Okay. You can preach about the daily active users, yada, 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 but we're very close to the people that make decisions. That's why they put us on voice calls. That's why they talk to you. But when you fall into this situation where they don't want to answer you because of what you're asking, because of the vulnerabilities that they're susceptible to, you have to start questioning leadership. You have to start questioning this chain. Is this built for success? And it's not just say, if anything falls in this category, you have to question the legitimacy of it. Think about an NFT project that said that they're going to pay you out. Think about a meme coin. That's basically the exact same situation. You could say, oh, no, this is a chain. Yeah, kind of. I mean, we still have to see it succeed and go through, but there's a reason all of these blockchains are paying for that service from Kaido. It's not because they're thriving. It's not because people want to be there. So put that in consideration. Perform without purpose. Anything else is a byproduct. but lean in, set your targets, go get your money if you can get it. This is a democratizing way to reward every creator. Um, it shouldn't go through all of that shit though. It shouldn't get this personal. So, but again, I'm a different breed. I take shit personally because I'm very serious with what I do and I want to do good shit. And if I'm not going to be respected the same way, I'm not going to disrespect myself, but I'm not going to sit back and let some shit happen. So it is what it is. Got paid. End of the day,